Hey guys, it's me Dax coming to you live and direct from the absolutely stunning Sedona in Arizona. And today is a really simple and short message for you. I always say that, don't I? It's going to be short. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth once I get going. But ultimately, the message today is really in answer to the question, how is it that I'm able to create so much content? People often comment that I create a lot of content, high quality content, but a lot of quantity as well. And I guess that wondering of how I managed to come up with the ideas that I come up with, how I managed to, I guess, write in a way that resonates with people so well and so strongly. And do you know, I've never really thought about it. I've never given it a hell of a lot of thought in the past, because mostly I've just decided to, in life, show up as me. Okay, literally, like show up as myself. So that what people often comment on is, if you meet me in person, they'll very often say, hey Dax, you're just like you are in your articles. Hey Dax, you're just like you are in your videos. And for me, that's quite a coup in itself, right? Because there are so many people that each of us meet as we go through our life that we've seen on TV, or we've heard on radio, or we've watched in a movie, or whatever it happens to be. And when you actually go and meet them for real, they're a very, very different person. So rule number one, really, of creating great content is actually just show up as yourself. But you know, I've never really given it a lot of thought about how I go about that. And so just recently I've started to ask myself the question, like, what is it that I'm actually doing when I talk about showing up as yourself? Because I always use this term, show up, right? And when I talk about this concept of showing up as yourself, what do I really mean? Well, I really mean showing up with your full set of values on display for the world. So my three primary values are truth, joy, and love. Okay, and in another video I'll speak to you about how I came up with those, and kind of I also have a separate set of words that I call my showing up words. Okay, and the showing up words are compassion, courage, and power. Okay, so I want to show up powerfully, I want to show up compassionately, and I want to show up courageously, right? So that's how all of my material basically shows up online, or that's what my intention is. But when I really think about it, there are really two things that I ask myself on a regular basis. Okay, two things I ask myself on a regular basis about creating any piece of content. And thing number one is this: what do I want them to know? What do I want them to know? What do I want the people that are about to invest the time, the effort, the energy, the emotional response, everything else, what do I actually want them to know as a result of watching my stuff or reading my articles? Okay, so one of the things that I wanted you to know as a result of me shooting this piece of content today was that it's actually very easy to show up in the world, and it's very easy to show up creating content when you do it with a very simple intention. Okay, and I'm actually laying out exactly what that intention and what that strategy is in this video, right? So number one, decide in advance what you want people to know as a result of investing time in your material, whether that be written, whether that be a blog post, whether that be a comment, whether that be a video like this. But what do you want them to know? Decide that in advance. The second thing, and perhaps more important than the first, is how do I want them to feel? Okay, how do I want them to feel about the information that I've just shared with them? Okay, so by the time that you come away from this video, like I already decided what I want you to feel is hopeful. I wanted you to feel confident. I wanted you to feel like, oh right, is that all it is? Like, is that how Dax manages to show up so comfortably in all of his material and kind of share his poems and his mad ramblings and everything else? Is that all it really is? And the simplest answer is yes, that's exactly all it is, right? I ask myself, first off, what do I want you to know? Secondly, how do I want you to feel? And then I craft the entire message around that. And when I say craft, I mean, I'm not sitting down kind of thinking about emotional hotspots like a copywriter. What are the exact words that I need to say to a person? What are the exact kind of phrases? What are the kind of the keywords that need to be thrown in here? It's never like that. It's more just the case of, I want to be very, very clear about who I'm speaking to from the perspective of, okay, this is specifically for a group of coaches that are struggling to create content on a regular basis, struggling to show up in the world as their most confident selves. What do I want them to know? It's really bloody easy, right? That's what I want you to know. It only takes 2 steps. Kind of know what you want them to know what you want them to feel. What do I want you to feel by the end of this? Confident, kind of hopeful for your own content, etc., 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 right? Decide that before you do any piece of content. Decide what you want people to know, decide what you want them to feel, and from that point forward, all content creation is going to be easy, easy, easy. Okay, so this has been me, Dax Moy, from the absolutely gorgeous Sedona. I'll speak to you again really soon. Take care.